Welcome back to Real Estate 101. Today we're going to continue our discussion on home inspections and talk a little bit about smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors. And I'm pleased to be joined once again by Alan Spizak of ACUS Home Inspection. Alan, welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Joe. Nice to be here again.
All right, Alan. So when did smoke alarms become law?
In March of 2006, it became law for all residences to have smoke alarms, semi-detached, single houses, townhomes, whether the owner occupied or whether rented. You must have smoke alarms every story, and they must be outside of the sleeping areas.
Okay, so what types of smoke alarms are available out in the marketplace?
There's two types: ionization, which has two metal plates and a little bit of radioactive material. So when the smoke goes in between those small plates, it connects the electrical charge and sets off the alarm. The other type is photoelectric, where there's a little beam of light. When the smoke passes through, the smoke reflects the light, and that sets off the alarm.
Okay, so where must smoke alarms be installed?
So smoke alarms must be installed as per the manufacturer's installation instructions. So that's usually on the ceiling, again, of every story, and or it can be on the wall near the ceiling, approximately 6 inches or less, and it must not be installed in a dead air space, which is usually the angled walls. And again, those diagrams are in the manufacturer's instructions.
All right, so do smoke alarms, do they expire or wear out?
Yes, and most people don't know that the smoke alarms wear out every 10 years. So you must replace them, whether they're battery operated or hardwired or a combination of, they must be replaced every 10 years.
Okay, and does that also mean there's maintenance for smoke alarms?
Yes. If you read the manufacturer's installation instructions, again, dust can clog up the smoke detector. So you can brush it off every 6 months or take a light vacuuming. But if the smoke detector is hardwired, you must shut the breaker off first.
Okay, so let's talk about carbon monoxide. How is CO generated in the home?
So carbon monoxide is generated from the incomplete combustion of fuel burning appliances. So the fuel can be natural gas, propane, kerosene, oil, wood, charcoal. So any type of appliance that burns those fuels can create carbon monoxide.
Okay, so what are some of the symptoms of CO poisoning?
So CO poisoning is similar to flu symptoms: nausea, headache, burning eyes, confusion, drowsiness, even loss of consciousness, but without the elevated temperature of a flu.
And how do these CO alarms work?
CO measures the parts per million of carbon monoxide in the air. And so with that sensing, it can sense it over a short period of time, high concentrations, or a long period of time with low concentrations.
Okay. And how expensive are CO alarms?
Carbon monoxide alarms are typically around $50 to $75 each.
All right, so with home alarms and smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors, how do you differentiate? Do they sound different?
Yes, carbon monoxide detectors have 4 quick beeps followed by a 5-second pause. Smoke detectors have 3 beeps followed by a 1.5-second pause, and that pattern's repeated for each smoke and carbon monoxide detector.
All right, so if you or maybe other occupants in the home are suffering from potential CO poisoning, what do you do?
So immediately move outdoors, get outside, get fresh air, and call 911 right away.
All right, so if your alarm is going off, but nobody is suffering from CO poisoning, what do you do?
The first thing you should do then is check the batteries in the smoke detector, because that may be setting off the beeping sound and people might think it's the alarm.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Ontario Building Code. Are CO detectors mandated? Like, are they regulated to be installed in brand new homes?
Yes, so all brand new homes must have CO detectors outside sleeping areas.
All right, so let's touch on compliance a little bit here. When did CO alarm requirements come into force?
So carbon monoxide detectors came into force in 2014, and then all houses had to have them in 2015, regardless of the age. And that's, again, what a lot of people don't understand, Joe, is that it doesn't matter if your house is 10 years old or 100 years old. The Ontario law says you must have carbon monoxide detectors outside your sleeping areas.
Okay. Now, are they mandatory for homes that have an electric fireplace but no garage?
No. Houses that don't have fuel burning appliances and do not have an attached garage then have no source of carbon monoxide.
Okay, so is a carport considered a garage?
No, a carport's not a garage because it's open on the various sides, so the air flows through, so there's no opportunity for carbon monoxide to be trapped inside. But what's very interesting is I was at a house just the other day where they enclosed the carport and then made it into a garage. In that case, that changes the situation.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the storage in the garage. What about like a gas-powered tractor?
Yes. So a gas-powered tractor, gas-powered lawnmower, gas-powered weed whacker, anything that can produce, that burns fuel can produce carbon monoxide.
Okay. What about like recreational vehicles like trailers?
That's a very good question. What I'm going to suggest now is that it depends on the trailer, whether it's a residence, whether it's mobile. If people have concerns about that, they need to look into that further. We're not going to touch on that topic today.
Okay, so let's talk about the Ontario Fire Code. Are there requirements for, let's say, visual alarms for people who are deaf or maybe hearing impaired?
So, not for carbon monoxide detectors at this point in time. However, it is a good idea for people that are hearing impaired to go and buy a visual carbon monoxide detector, and that would be one with a strobe light, and they are available.
All right, so when are CO alarms required to be installed in a house?
So again, every house that has a fuel burning appliance and or an attached garage. So those are the things that are going to create carbon monoxide. That's when it's required, regardless of age of house.
Okay, and are you required to have one, let's say, in the furnace room of a single house?
That's the biggest mistake, as I said earlier, that people make, is they put the carbon monoxide detector in the furnace room. The requirement is outside of sleeping areas, but it is a good idea to have one on every floor and including near the fuel burning appliances such as a furnace.
Okay, so you always hear in the manufacturer that they say, install it adjacent. What do they mean by that?
Adjacent to sleeping areas, yes. So in this case, it would be outside of the bedroom.
In the hallway.
In the hallway. But if it's just a bedroom, then it could be inside the bedroom. But in another situation where I was at, where they had bedrooms on each side of the house and hallways on each side of the house, and the living room, dining room, kitchens were in the middle, they actually needed two carbon monoxide detectors, one in the one hallway and then another in the other hallway at the other side of the house.
Okay, so let's talk about apartment buildings. When are they required to be installed in apartment buildings?
So again, if the apartment building has an attached garage, so underground parking, which many apartments do, and or service areas that contain fuel burning appliances like boiler rooms, hot water heaters, every unit that has a common wall, so that'd be a shared wall to either that garage or to that service area, they must have carbon monoxide detectors.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that some are wired and some are battery. Are they required to have a backup power source?
No, the law right now says that carbon monoxide detectors do not have to have battery backup. It is a good idea, and they're available on the market, to be hardwired and have battery backup. Of course, they're a little bit more costly, but what's your life worth?
Right, right. And you also touched on getting an alarm that does both CO and smoke. So you can install a dual alarm.
Yeah, there's so many products on the market now. There's combination, smoke, and CO. There's hardwired. There's battery operated. There's combination hardwired, battery operated. There's combination strobe light and alarm. So there's just so many that are out there.
So I guess it just depends on your budget and what you want to install.
Yeah, and what your circumstances are and how safe you want to be in your home.
All right, so how often do CO alarms have to be replaced?
So again, following the manufacturer's installation instructions, typically every 7 to 10 years.
All right, Alan. So with your experience in home inspections, what have you seen over your years with, of people dealing with carbon monoxide and smoke alarms?
So, Joe, it's very sad, but approximately 95% of houses that I go into either have improper smoke or improper carbon monoxide detectors, i.e., they're either not in the right place or they're expired, they're out of date.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add to viewers and listeners?
Yes, I encourage everyone to go and check your carbon monoxide detectors, check your smoke detectors, make sure in the right place, and make sure they're up to date. And something that I encourage everyone to go to our webpage, www.aciss.ca, and watch for our announcement. A KISS is coming out with a carbon monoxide and smoke detector replacement program where you can call our company. We'll come out to your home and we'll check, investigate, make sure your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are up to date in the right place. If not, we will have the product there and put them in for you. Of course, there'll be a slight cost, but your life is worth a lot more than a few dollars.
All right, Alan. So great stuff. For people who want to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
So our toll-free number, 1-866-573-7131, or our head office number, 905-633-8219.
All right, Alan. Thanks for coming on today's show.
It's been a pleasure, Joe.
So there you have it. If you're looking for more information on home inspections, get in contact with Alan Spizak at AKIS Home Inspections. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, and share our videos. I'm Joe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.